Welcome back to today's video. We have discussed the structure of whole hand, then the proportion ratios between fingers and the palm, and whole hand by itself, including fingers and palm. Now, and then we covered the portion or parts of each finger. And now, today we are going to cover the thumb itself, the most important part of the hand. It is considered as the leader of the hand, or king of the hand, or boss of the hand, because it reflects your strength, your ego, yourself. It talks a lot about the viability and your self-being, how strong you are and how viable you are, how do you impact others, how aggressively you take on things, and your strength behind it, and your willpower and your logic about it. So first you create logic. So in previous videos, I touched that, okay, one of them, the thumb itself has 3 parts also, like 1, 2, and 3. But this one being the part of the main hand, so we only discuss the 1 and 2, not the third one. Third one actually goes inclusive into the palm itself. So so mainly we talk about the two portion of the thumb. Thumb actually reveals a lot of information about a person, because it actually is the drive and the force behind the rest of the hand. So if you are intuitive, or you are workaholic, or you are industrious, or entrepreneur, or you are an artist or engineer, or whoever you are in your life and how you deal with other people, it's the thumb itself who is going to validate all of that. It's going to put pressure, it's going to put energy, it's going to do put the logic behind it first, and willpower. So it's like an engine to all of the rest of the hand. So it is a leading has a leading role as compared to the rest of the hand. So that's why thumb is always discussed separately, because it's going to stand out and parallel to the rest of the whole hand. So I will go over one by one the qualities of a good hand. Like we discussed the width, the narrowness, the width of the hand, the fingers, the gap between the fingers. So it's very important that where your thumb is. Thumb, sometime it can be located way down, more in the very okay. Now sometimes they are like more inward, they are like very outward. They make less angle, they make nice angle, or very wide. It could be perpendicular, like a 90-degree angle, and they go very firmly out. So that could also be, so normal hand should have enough gap. Now, within that, when you have an angle, plus you have this lower portion extending outward. I'll share one of the photos. It goes out, and then it stands out separate from the hand. So you will, once you see that kind of a thumb, you will immediately recognize that mine is kind of very close to my hand at an average. It's not too far out, not too much great angle. It's normal. It's like an average position. But sometimes you will see these come out and go taller and separate. Sometimes they are actually like a bone comes out and then it extends up. So if nicely separated, not too much, nicely separated, again, we are talking about the band. One quality versus other quality and the normality in the middle. Okay, neither this is bad or not that is bad. It's just reflecting your quality. For example, your logic and will. If your logic doesn't put you onto emotion, onto a clause or a something that you decide and you say, okay, it's not viable. I shouldn't be doing it. That's your logic. It's not good enough for me. Then you are not going to assert the will. But sometimes people put will, they put the logic away and say, okay, let's try it. They bring in the will. So sometimes they are successful. Even those things are not telling them, the logic itself dictates that this thing is not successful, but the will itself sometimes makes you succeed. So it all depends that if there's more willpower or less logic, it doesn't matter. So don't jump on conclusions that if you see more logic in a person and there's no willpower, it's no good. And if there's a lot of willpower, but there's no logic. So, can you imagine this little thing? Like if you have no logic and you're just jumping on things, keep doing, you're busy all your life. It's okay, you succeeded on certain, but most of them, maybe 80% of the projects you embarked on, they're just useless. Just that your willpower made you do it. Because other people were doing, you did it, your willpower was strong, but your logic, it was never there. You never wanted to do it. But you did it because others were doing it. So logic or willpower, they don't both have to be balanced. So if a thumb that is protruding outward, is coming outward, is a nice personality. If a person stands out, a person has its own genuine personality. A person can be recognized among 10 other people. He is like a leader. She is like a prominent person among the group they are in. So you will see them standing out from others. They are well recognized. That's the personality. Then within that, sometimes people have willpower, and also, okay, I'll get into the interpretation later on. First, let me finish the structure itself. So, person who has a distinct thumb which is standing out, this means a man is totally a revolutionary. A man is totally it doesn't accept norms. So his personality stands out. He is like, okay, I'm not among you. I'm not part of you. This is what I think. This is the way it should be. This is more prominent, the strength. Now, with that kind of a thumb that stands out, way out of the, it goes out and stands here. Now, if that person has a good logic and a good willpower, I mean, the length and the breadth of the 1 and 2 portion, the parts of these thumb, if they are equal, they are nice. The square because the person square or maybe flat. Okay, it's intuitive, then willpower will, this will be, logic will increase in it. But if you want to do something, you want to finish something like a project manager or program manager or some leader or prime minister or president, you want to lead someone and want to finish up. So with a personality where you say, okay, this is my way, but with my way comes a real good logic, a very good willpower. So if a person who has my way and doesn't have proper logic, a willpower will make him assertive, but it doesn't go anywhere. The same way, it's the other way also, that you have logic, a lot of logic, but you don't have willpower. Even though you're prominent, those people could be writers, they could be poets, who could be expressing things violently, not violent in the sense of, means, they are like aggressive and very, very aggressive. And saying things like some poets are very, very revolutionary. Violent was not the revolutionary is the right word. They're revolutionists. They will go out and say things that will turn the governments upside down. So the willpower itself, the logic itself could be very strong. You're prominent, you're strong, willpowered. But again, if this your will is smaller than your logic, then you're using more logic. Then that means that you're actually saying it more rather than acting upon it. So people who have the standalone thumb, they are actually nonconformist. That's one word I wanted to bring out. They are nonconformists. They don't conform to other people. They don't easily accept other people's, especially the norms that are totally, in their eyes, they are totally rubbish. They don't just, status quo, for example. They don't like status quo. So they are always going out against the status quo. They don't accept things that have been coming to say, why this, why that? They question everything. So their, a standard personality will actually challenge the status quo and make them revolutionary in that sense. So a person with a good thumb, good distance, good length, normal distance is a good person. It has a more normal approach, aggressiveness, but within the limits. So they are sincere people. They will, if they look into you and they accept you, then they make good friends. So if you have an understanding with them, you will make a good friend with them. Okay, one point I want to bring up to you is, and probably you won't see it any other place, and nobody will tell you, is that when, like I have always, advocated, that when you are looking at a hand and the structure, this has been my main point in every single lecture I gave you, the structure of the hand, that when you compare the length or any shape or anything, you're doing a comparison. You are doing a comparison as a whole hand. Okay, so like in certain lectures, I told you that sometime the root could be tilted like this. So this pinky could be really here. So don't see that, okay, because this mercury finger is small, so person has a communication or thinking or logical or critical thinking issues. No, it's just that it's placed underneath. So your thumb, the placement of thumb is very, very important too. So in case, look at this, there's a pretty, it goes down, it's over here. So when you see, when they are equal, you don't see a too tiny, you will see, not in 90% hands, you will see that the mercury finger will be finishing here on the second, almost near the second portion, the bottom of the first. So if they're taller, you will see that they are, with the rest of the fingers, they're tall. The same way, when you look at the thumb will appear to be very tall as compared to the rest of the fingers or rest of the hand. It has to look prominent on the hand itself. So it's not the measurement against each other, but the first look, the first point is that it appears bigger. So the first impression, you look, oh my God, this is longer, it's taller, it's bigger. So then you see, is it an illusion that is appearing to be because it's little placed high up? Maybe this could be pushed up, and instead of being here, it was here. And then you will see a thumb coming here, and that will look really, really, there's one of the hand that I think in the previous video I showed, that hand is little, crooked in a sense, like, tilted, skewed, little skewed. So that skewed hand the thumb is actually, this pink is going down and that is going up. Probably I'll share it again after this, before or after this video. Now, so you have to make sure that thumb itself, mine is just normal thumb. It's not very big, it's not small. It should have been bigger, should have been better, but I get reflections, more reflections from the rest of my hand. So if these being logic and will being the equal and slightly, being little intuitive also, square in a sense that if you look at the thumb itself slightly square, more square with a little bit touch of intuition. So the personality wise, so sometimes I am aggressive, sometimes I'm not aggressive in a sense, inserting myself within the group or within other people. Sometimes I'll just and just because that's because I'm Cancerian. Cancerians are crab, C-R-A-B, crab, not crab. So Cancerians are crab. So they sometimes hide in the shell. That's part of the nature that was given to me. I've been made that way. So sometimes I'm inward, sometimes I'm outward. So there will be time that I'm not doing anything. Mentally I keep doing, because of the rest of the hand. So I can't just sit idle. There's no time that I sit. Even if I'm lying in the bed, I'm doing something. So the very first thing, I wake up and my brain is fresh, I do my creative work right there in the bed. I take my phone and start writing. That's my best time. I write. I'm creative. So it depends upon your moods and your places, your times that you will come up with. So again, as a good palmist, never conclude. I have seen very standing out, highly standing out and very great thumbs not being successful at all, because the rest of the combination is not there. So thumb is important as compared to rest of the hand, because it plays a leading role. It's the leader, it's the boss. But at the same time, if boss is too good and the rest of the hand is not supporting you, the army itself is not there, the soldiers are not ready to fight, the general is not going to do anything. So you will have to look at it comprehensively at all aspects, every portion, fingers, length, breadth, being where the person is more intuitive, where the person is more practical, where the person is more outward, where is inward. You need to have all those qualities. Sometimes you need to have negative qualities. For example, like forgetting. Forgetting is a blessing. If you don't forget, then the bad things you have done, or some people have done to you, or you have done to others, if you don't forget them, you will be in a misery. So forgetfulness is a blessing, that you let the bad things slip away. So now there's a whole discussion on that subject itself. But you need to understand that never ever arrive on a conclusion that this person. Sometimes I see people saying, "Oh, Cancer is a very nice sign. Oh, Aries is a very nice sign. Oh, Capricorn is very nice. Or Scorpios are bad, and so are bad." And hey, that's totally wrong. It's absolutely wrong. None of the 12 signs is good or bad. Same way, you have 7 planets in your hand. You have fingers, you have palm, you have thumb, you have their mix and match, all those kind of things. So there's all kind of goodness and badness right embedded in your hand. The question is, when do you use? That's where we talk about fate. When we talk about future, okay, because this is your hand, this is what you are going to do, that becomes kind of a fate. So it's not really fortune telling, but it's fortune telling. Oh, I think fortune means good things, to tell people good things. Okay, when you're going to get rich. There's nothing wrong with that either. But if you falsify that, then it becomes really another issue. But here you're talking about the scientific impact of the person's personality on the hand. The hand is a byproduct of your soul, mind, and body. So it's a structured output of yourself. So when you are looking at a person, you are looking at it in totality, completely. Look at it. So thumb plays a very important role. I can show you thumbs that people have, very strong thumbs, very nice, long, tall, separating, and non-conformist, revolutionary, but they didn't make anywhere. They didn't go anywhere. There was no success to them. No, hardly few people know them. So why? Because they were not good in utilizing the rest of their energies. So when you look at a person has a goodness and a weakness. Okay, so a strength and weakness. So like I say, there's a band. So a band moves on. So your band is going to give you an input of energy. So are you aggressive when you are at the mountain, or you're aggressive when you are talking to a friend and you're punching his face because you didn't like what he said? You know, it's both show of force. It's for both expressing your energies in climbing the mountain or running on the road or doing something, creative, or just spending too much time in trying to impress your friends by force or by argument, and you're argumentative all the time. You want to win over them, and that's where your energy is going. See, there's a big difference. It's the same force behind. So how you are utilizing. So it's the same way when you have a sword or a pen, when they say. A pen in a hand, good hand is a good pen, it's a literature. It's a knowledge. But in a wrong hand, it can destroy people. Same with the sword. If a sword in a good hand is going to bring peace, but in a wrong hand is going to destroy the world. So, the same way, God never created you bad. Not better than others. They are all equal. We are all created equal. So that's why we have all kind of things within us. But those things, when we express them with our own choice, then we realize, okay, you are expressing your energies through this way, through that way, and you are doing this. So if you are expressing your energies through aggression, for example, and you become violent, so what is wrong in saying that if you can become so violent that you can actually hit some person and kill the person? How long does it take to do that? So, it's a powerful wrong place. You hit person and person is gone. So it's a little show of energy and so much of damage. So that has to be told by, that what is your personality? How? This thumb is going to show you that. So always rely on the thumb and its energies and see how it is managing the rest of or how palm is actually supporting its general. Okay, because general is nothing without the soldiers. In the long thumbs could be straight up, going up. I have little bend, strong here, very strong here. So you have to look at, when you look at the strength, like nails we were talking about. So you look at the thumb itself, and you feel the strength. I can't do it because I have a little bit of arthritis here. So I'm not going to bend it too much to show you. But these could be very flexible. This could be very flexible. The more flexible, the person could be very, 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 very polite, very, very diplomatic. Okay, but there is a logic, right? So they could be very polite. So the softness, the more it bends, the long and bending is a nice personality, normal, moderate personality. But if strong logic, very strong, the person is strong. But now, if you have a strong logic, here's the problem again. I have that strong foundation, strong least bend. So I have a good logic. But what if my logic is wrong? There's a problem. What if I say, okay, I take wrong thing as right and right thing is wrong? It creates problems. So, this is why there should be a little flexibility in the personality, that it's the bending thumb is going to present a very soft, acceptable personality. Person who is accepting your logic, listening to you, and then making up. A good logic is going to be there, his own logic, but he's also listening to you. His ears, he will lend his ears to you, and listen and be flexible and consider what you're saying. Then create his own logic, use the willpower to conduct the project or whatever the mission the person has in life. So this is very important that you look at the bend of the bend or straight. Some hands are literally not. I have some bend, so I do. So and this is good enough for my personality. But sometimes they are too soft. You can say, you know what? You can keep throwing things on them, insult them. They will, okay, all right, okay, what next, what next? So they will take all the abuse that you give them, very, very bent. You'll see them coming, this one really bent. They will take all kind of abuse. They will stay calm. And then at the end they do, because it's a stretched out, straight, good personality. They will do what they want to do. But they will also take all the things from you. Now, on the other hand, sometimes this is straight. There's no bend here or little bend here, like you can see now in a natural slight bend. So if this is more or this is less, it's totally straight, like straight like this. There's absolutely no bend, and if you bend it, it doesn't bend. Like I said, I can't bend because I have arthritis. So if I bend, it's going to be painful for me, but I can bend. There's softness on the top, not on the bottom. Okay, this is more rigid, this is more soft. That's fine. But some people have this one, the whole two of them soft. Sometimes they have only top, which is soft. So whatever it is, if it's logic or it's will, if they're both soft, they're accepting it, they're taking it, then it's fine. So then you will have to understand that, the taller it is, like in the case of tall fingers, we said the person takes the things, keeps them with them, and analyzes them. And so a long fingers will keep the logic and so much to them that they become invalid. It's like it takes forever for things. The train will pass, it will come and go. So you miss the train, you miss the flight. It's too much thinking. Shall I go? Shall I not go? Shall I go? And the pros and cons, and then it's too late. But at the same time, a person with a knot is going to critically think about it. Won't hold it very long. It could be very quick. Critical thinking, plus minus, boom, 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 and done, as compared to the long. But if you have critical knotted fingers, long fingers, you are critical as long, and you're also holding on to the idea. You're taking too long, undecisive. So if that is true about the thumb itself, so what are you going to do? Right? So what are you going to do? You will see the knot itself, the logic, the width, the length, and the breadth, and in both portions, and see if the logic and the will itself is playing any role, and how strong it is. Is it going negative or positive? Or will is always there? Like in the very beginning, I said that if there's a logic and there's no will, so what do you do with your logic? Of course, you're standing out. So if you have a thumb that is too close, and I'm not going to discuss right now, but right now I'm discussing the length and the softness and the bend of the finger, just the structure of the thumb itself. So it's going to be about 3, 4, maybe 5 lectures on the thumb alone. It's a good subject, and we'll cover a lot on that. So in the structure itself, you need to apply all those rules that we discussed. Now we're going to apply that on the general itself, the boss. How's the boss? Is he good boss? Is he keeping? Let's say you have a beautiful hand, you have a beautiful lines, great fate, everything is great, but you have a midget, very small, very close. Okay, here, very close, small thumb placed inside. Then you don't have any logic or any, all the goodness is gone. So, it's goodness in the sense of being practical in the life itself. People can be fortunate because they inherit things. So the parents have property and money and they can hand it over to you, so you are lucky. Okay, so you inherited something. And because you come from a good family, you can be educated and you may already have a car and a house and everything. So what is the personality is you itself, how much you are adding to that or taking away from what you inherited. So the fortune and characteristics and whatever is like your genetic inheritance and your DNA stamp, it increases or decreases with you. So it depends how you hand over to others. So when you look at your thumb or other people's thumb, you want to make sure that thumb is the general, is the boss, and the army is the rest of your palm and finger. So how this is going to help out the thumb in doing that. So same way thumb, is thumb really doing its job? So on the other hand, if your thumb is small, it appears to be midget, it appears to be smaller than the rest of the hand and fingers as compared to the fingers, it seems shorter. You can't see your own. Usually other people can tell you if it appears to be because you're so much used to your own hand, you will not be able to, but you can do a comparison with your rest of your fingers. Like I told you earlier in this video and the previous videos, that you will compare them with your rest of your hand, palm and the full ratio of your hands. So a thumb that appears to be smaller is, again, it's a small personality. It's the other way, on the band, if it's a good, tall, separated, is good personality. Short and closer is the opposite of that. So, and the middle is good. So if it's small thumb, then this person doesn't stick, it has a bad logic, poor logic, and can be very stubborn, negative. Okay, so, okay, I want this. There's nothing you can change. You can say, this is a bad product, don't buy it. They'll say, you know what, I like it, I'm going to buy it. There's no logic that can convince them that what they are going to do is good or not good for them. So you can't convince them. So they are like kind of close to idiot. Idiot is not a bad word, remember. Idiot is something who doesn't know anything. Technically speaking, we use the word idiot so many times and so casually that actually, somebody started writing a book, books for idiots, the book for this, computers for idiots, programming for idiots, means the person who is not aware of something is less educated in subject, in a faculty, has a lower faculty, then a person with a lower faculty is the one with who you can call it. So a person with a smaller thumb has lower faculties. So because lower faculties, then his logic and his understanding, his reasoning is not good enough. So naturally this person will jump on conclusions as compared to the long and reasonable thumb, separated thumb. It's a small thumb and closed thumb. And not only is a person is inward because it's closed, but also small is meaning the person has lower faculties. So such person can be an angry person on a negative side, and some problematic person, because once he or she makes up his or her mind, you can't change it. There's nothing on the earth, you can say to them, you know what, do this, and they are ready to do that because you said that. So hope that this person idealizes you. You are the saint for the person, and then you say, okay, do this, and they will accept your advice because they believe in you. Otherwise, if they say, even to you, if they say no, once they say no, you can't say, because they can't understand that. So that's very problematic for them. So summing up, a thumb that is too tall is the one end of it, a too short is on the other end of it. So taller is better, smaller is not so good, and the middle height is okay. That's a balanced personality. And tall is too much of a personality, maybe too much of everything, logic staying there. Then the distance between your palm and your thumb and how far it goes. So it can be this angle. Remember this angle, like we discussed the gap between the fingers. But here is more angle. It's not really gap, it's the finger. So this is close hand. This is the angle. So the angle grows, and goes all the way. I have to tilt it because I can't press it. So it goes 90 degrees. Okay. So yeah, it is good up to this point. Okay. So then this thumb, you take it and place it here, and then you can see them going upward like a tree. Sometimes going like this. Think this is a thumb. So it goes out and then it goes like this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here it is. So you will see a thumb separating from the hand all the way to, and then going up, small or big or whatever it is. So if it separates too much, usually you will see a second leading to second and number two artists. You'll see if you. I'll give you a picture of a Hollywood actor has the same thumb, because they are struggling. They are working. Their willpower is so strong. They want to win. They want to become on the top. They want to go on the top. They want to be. So they have strong, very strong personality to present, and they really work very hard to do that. So you will see them going on. So if you thumb is inside, the personality is very close personality, very it goes down with all the qualities. So you have to see the thumb, not too much of a thumb, but a nice bend thumb, little bend, little, averagely not too tall, not too short. Tall is good, but not too tall, because then it might give you a sense of not being able to be decisive, because too long fingers are being undecisive. They're good, but they're undecisive too. So, but again, all these comparisons are with the rest of the hand, not because you see that it's a tall hand or a tall finger or a tall thumb. No. Tall thumb itself, but it has to be your own hand, that hand that you're looking at. Everything has to go according to the body, the person you're looking at. Maybe like in the small hands, we said, okay, we compared the small hands as compared to the body itself. A person is 6 feet and his hand looks, this small. So you can, by looking at, say, man, he's so big. And sometimes a man is our average height and the hands are this tall. I've shown you those. So, like Malik Dia, I mentioned him in the 2 videos over, in the previous videos. So, you can have a tall person with a very tall hands, a very tall person with a very small hand. So when the size is compared to the body, the structure of the body, impression of the body. Sometimes people have long approach, like boxers, their their reach is measured from here to all the way how long their arms are. So the longer the arms are, the better boxers they are, because they can reach out. So same way, when a body is measured, the hand is measured. It's measured as per the body, and then within the hand you measure the fingers and their size as compared. I keep on stressing because this is the main point. I'll continue this in as many videos I make, 100 videos or 200 videos or whatever, if I stop here. But this is the bottom line, the comparison. Understand the hand, recognize the hand, and reading will be 1, 2, 3. It will be so easy. You can make judgment in a second. You can actually look at a hand in 1 second and you know the person. You don't have to really read anything. By just knowing the structure, you have known the person, most of the person. So with that, I will leave it here. It's already 41 minutes. The next is going to be the parts, the portion in detail, the same way. It just took this much, just the structure itself. Then I'll talk about each of those portions, and then what stand, and we'll continue talking about the willpower and the logic within the person, and you will see how it starts to come up. So till the next lecture, next video, take care of yourself, and I'll see you. Bye.